Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're here with Adarsh Sharma. He's the co-founder of Augmetrix Tech. So we'll get right into the questions. Okay, before we get started, how are you doing
Sure.
today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So Adarsh, tell us a bit about yourself. Like, how old are you? Where do you live? What are your passions, hobbies, just anything in general?
Sure. So my name is Adarsh Sharma. I'm currently a senior in Cheshire High School, Rajasthan. I'm 17 years old, and my major interest lies around startup and executing things, like more of the operation background. So yeah, I love working in the startups basically, and working along them in the growth part and executing their ideas, and yeah.
Right. Okay. So we wouldn't want to keep our viewers out of the picture here. So, like, could you tell us a bit about, in brief, about your organization? What do you guys do? How do you start up? Yeah,
So basically, what we do is it's not a complex, but it's merge of two or three things. So uh, one of those things is one of my interests, that is teaching. So in the before COVID, I used to teach my school friends a lot of things, like especially mathematics. Whenever they feel any problem, I used to take classes with them. I Whenever the teacher was on substitution, I used to take classes for the entire class. So once the pandemic hit, there was discontinuity in that activity. So I wanted to carry on with it and see where it takes me. So what we did was, instead of teaching my friends, I started with teaching students who are from non-privileged areas. For example, we contacted different government schools where the conditions are a little worse. We conducted the street side people, the people who live on streets. We asked their parents, do they want to teach their children? Where do they actually go to school? Do they even go to school? Some of them goes to a government school, but again, due to pandemic, the whole system was so shaken up. So they were really worried. Like, they were saying that nothing happens in school, and their exams coming up. So that's when we started. We started after the pandemic. We started during the pandemic, after the first wave. The main goal, there were two main goals. One, my interest in teaching, and the other, there was a need at that moment. Like, every government school was kind of, disoriented in the execution. So that's how we started. So later on, our motto changed a lot. Initially, we also thought of building something related to computer science, because that was another of my interests. But then from computer science, we shifted to education in general. Then from education, we kind of embedded to provide not just teaching. Like, teaching is just one part, but we need opportunities as well. So we want to embed opportunities in our startup as well. So not the startup, but as a non-profit. So what we did was, we created the Discord server, a very small community of high schoolers. And our goal was very simple. We don't want to teach anyone online, because online, if you can come online, you are not unprivileged, right? If you can have a resource of attending class online, then you probably have enough resources to learn from YouTube or anywhere else. So our main motto was, with the teaching, we will always do offline, and we are doing it offline. So another thing, like, we wanted to expand on the online side as well. So what we did was, we created a Discord community, and we started Sunday Shorts. Sunday Shorts was our primary goal. It was like an every week opportunity. I love opportunities. Like, every week, I have this habit of applying to at least one program or competition or something like that. Whether it's essay competition, startup competition, anything. I usually apply to one single thing every single week. So I usually need to do a lot of Google search to find that thing, like, which thing is accessible, affordable for me, lies in my income bracket, and gives the scholarship to international students. So there's a lot of opportunity gap between Indian students and my US students. So that's where I would also be applying to US universities. So when I see, like, the opportunities they get and the opportunities we get, I see a lot of difference there. So in that sense, we are also underprivileged. So what what we did was, we started the Sunday Shorts, where every week you are going to get one opportunity available in that week. We are able to find that opportunity or not, that depends. Like, every single week, it's hard to find an opportunity that is within the range and within the reach of everyone. So we try to come up with one activity every week and we post it on a Discord server. So that's what we try to do on the online side, kind of creating opportunities. Today only we posted 2 internship opportunities in the marketing, and one of them is in a VC. One of those startup is a YC backed startup. So I usually tell people like, okay, there are these 2 opportunities coming up. I just received the mail, so you can apply it as well.
Right. Before when I was doing the research about your organization, like what you guys do, I also wanted to know. You had mentioned this term called vocational skills as your main motive.
Yeah.
So, what do you really mean by vocational skills for the benefit of viewers?
So vocational is something like in this time you could get a job with it. Like you could sustain your lifestyle, or you could, it's not something you need to pass a test, but it's something you can use to uh, build up your, you could just live your life with vocational. For example, learning Excel sheet, learning, Google Excel is one of the vocational skills, comes under a vocational skill. So these short types of skills can actually go very far in your career. Instead of, I found many people, the people we teach, we don't actually try to teach them just the curriculum, because that's boring and that's, very cliche, like just teaching the curriculum. We teach them in a very different way. Like for example, let's take this. We take we what we do is we usually take one of the accessories. Like our class size is usually 5 to 6 people, 5 to 10 maximum. So we can I have a laptop, my other team members have a laptop as well. So once we teach them about mathematics and we try to apply those mathematics in Google Excel sheet, we ask them, okay, you have the laptop, we could provide them a laptop for a class or something, and we ask them, okay, you have learned this mathematics concept, now can you apply this on the Google Excel sheet? So that's how we try to teach them in both ways. So it could be interesting. Plus, mathematics may not be useful for them in future. Of course, it is, but for some people it maybe not. But Excel will always be something that they could get a job with. So that's what we mean by vocational skills. And another thing is the opportunities that we give. They are sort of a vocational skills as well. Like the whatever opportunities we are giving them, like for example, front-end developer internship. Now that comes under a vocational skill as well. So that's what we mean. We teach and we give the opportunities. We make them aware of the opportunities in the same field.
Right. Okay. So, when you talk about giving high schoolers vocational skills, how do you plan to achieve that? What are the varieties of skills you will offer? Because obviously, if you're aiming to help them with a career, the different types of skills require different professions require different types of set of skills. So, how will you be able to,
Yeah.
get all those varieties of skills and, give it to the people?
At our level, we are targeting very basic. We don't want to teach them Photoshop, because that's not possible at this time. It's not possible, but we want to start with a very basic, and we want to stick to very basic, because what I have seen, like I am a computer science, I will be pursuing computer science, and what I have learned through this computer science experience is like, once you get a certain level of experience, you can learn anything on your own. For example, in the beginning, Google search is hard, but once you learn how to Google search, every programming language kind of becomes easier. You just need to learn one programming language in computer science. Rest others are very easy, because you get an experience of learning. So it's not actually the language that's important, it's the experience of learning a language that's important. So for example, what we do was, you must know about the LibreOffice softwares that are open source. So we we usually give them a laptop. There is a team of 3 to 4 students that could work on a single one, and we ask them, you need to type a letter. Now there are 2 things happening. First, they are honing their English skills, how to write a letter. Now another thing is they are learning how to use LibreWord. So LibreWriter it's called officially. So that's how we do it. That's the main aim, and we want to stick to it for a little longer time, because there are a lot of people. We don't want only a few to achieve the maximum, but a maximum to achieve a little, because once they get a little, they will actually by themselves can move forward. We need to give them just the thrust. rest they should do it on their own.
Wow, that's actually amazing. Also, how do you like teaching some students? It requires enough skills to make you get to understand the students. Make them teach, but teaching different skills, just not only Excel but other skills for jobs and for other jobs and professions. Being a non-profit organization, how do you keep the balance of teaching them while not paying the educators?
um, it's like uh, majority of people who are working with us are related to that cause somehow, like that's why we don't have a very huge team as well. That's one of the reason is like the work is intensive. Like if you want to come to the offline, it's really really exhausting work. Like it takes me 3 hours a day to actually takes just a 2 hour class. It take commuting time, the class to settle, for them to ask out. So uh, it's take a lot of time per day of mine to complete a class, or consider complete a reasonable syllabus. So somehow I guess how we get motivated is through our interest. To be honest, in the beginning, I wasn't interested in teaching underprivileged. I really wasn't into that, volunteering stuff. I am still not in the volunteering stuff. I don't do a lot of volunteering. I just like to execute things. I just like to follow my interest. So my interest was teaching. So that's what we embedded with volunteering. That volunteering was the second option. First option was our interest. So I guess when you put your interest before social service, you tend to go longer than others. Otherwise, what others do is people try to put volunteering skills first and then try to merge it with their somehow interest or something. I say you should put your interest first and then try to find some volunteering activity in that, because that's always possible and that's gonna keep you go longer.
Right. Also, for the benefit of the viewers again, if someone
Yeah.
wants to start an organization like you did, so how do you manage school and Augmetrix at the same time? Because you're focusing on applying for abroad and for undergrad and other competitive exams in India. So how do you keep that work life balance of managing this Augmetrix text and your
Mhm.
educational career? So how do you manage that?
So for me, it's more like keep it simple. Just the only thing is keep it simple until it becomes messy. So that's what I learned in the beginning as well. Like we try to came up with a lot of programs. Okay, we will do this, we will do this, and we end up doing nothing in the beginning. So the reason why that happened was we took a lot of projects, and that's the wrong way to go about it, because you need to stick to just one until you become fluent in it. Like it should become a habit before you take any other thing up. So just like going to school is a habit, you should actually build it as a habit from the very beginning. What others try to do is they try to execute, okay, I have 4 ideas, I'm going to execute these 4 ideas with the same organization. And that's what we did in the beginning as well. I wanted to start STEM for girls, we started it. I wanted to start the opportunity thing, we started it. I wanted to start offline teaching, we started it, and all became so messy, and it all messed up in the school, and as everything just messed up. So then we dropped a lot of things, and then we just stick to offline teaching. We are gonna just do that. So I guess it's more about balance. Like, how do you balance that? It's more like it comes to me naturally. Like, I don't feel exhausted after being through the school, and I guess one of those attributes would be like I have been to this coaching system. Like I'm a part of Ellen Curry Institute from grade sixth. So been through the rigorous, like Alan, being in Alan and maintaining the top grades is very rigorous, and especially in the early years. So now it has become a kind of a habit. After I started Augmetrix in grade 10th, end of the grade 10th. So it wasn't really hard to manage school and organization as well, because schoolwork was probably done at Allen itself. So school wise, there wasn't much load.
Uh, okay. Also, where do you see Augmetrix Tech in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, probably, I don't think it's gonna become big. The reason it's not gonna become big is the strategy we are taking is much more dependent on people's interest. Like if someone is interested in volunteering, he will join. If someone is not, he will not. To be honest, the non-profit work, you need to some. It's really hard to make it work. I don't see in 5 years it's gonna work out. The once I got the thing is, you might have heard that quote. Startups don't die because they run out of money or they run out of customers. Startups die because founders run out of motivation. So that's the particularly similar case in similar thing in my case. I'm not sure how long I will be able to manage Augmetrix with college as well, because uh, if I probably I have to go somewhere out of my home city. Like I can't, uh, Jaipur, there is no college that I'm applying to. So either I will be staying in India in some other location, or I will be applying to US colleges. So the scenario will totally change. The whole execution will change. The people inside working is gonna change. So probably 5 years would be a very long time. I could tell you for 1 year, because 1 year is a more predictable. But for 5 years, I'm not sure where it will be. Probably dead, or probably executing in some other way. I always love to teach technology. So if I tend to move out of India for college stuff, then I probably will be teaching technology, not just the education, but tech part to US students, because US students tend to have a laptop with them. Indian students usually don't. So I'm gonna change the whole model to computer science probably.
Right. I actually like that because it seems very realistic, because when you do
Yeah.
interviews with our other organizations, they're like, yeah, we have this much motive and we're going to achieve this in the next 5 years. But I don't think it's as
Mhm.
realistic as you've kept it, because obviously it's going to get hard with college and
Yeah.
managing the organization. And obviously it's not easy
It's
to
hard at the
expand.
moment itself. It's hard at the moment itself. Like right now, I'm doing this summer. I'm gonna doing 3 summer programs, and those 3 summer programs are exactly between my midterm and finding time. I'm doing the mark. I'm doing my internship at one of the startups, and so it's like too much cluttered at the moment itself. So I want to keep the things productive where I am into. So I'm probably it's gonna get more and more tense coming years. So we're gonna see how it goes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the benefit of the viewers, like who really like your organization, are there any open positions for them to join? Not only like where in India or wherever you guys are based, but internationally.
Before answering that, I'm gonna go back to the previous question again. I We are doing two things, right? We are doing the offline stuff and the online stuff. Offline stuff I can't guarantee, because that requires a lot of motivation and time. For the online stuff where we are providing opportunities, I can give you the assurance that for 2 years it's going nowhere. The Discord server is going nowhere, because uh, in the whole 2 or 3 years, the way I wanted the opportunities, and I always, whenever I see someone, okay, I got selected into this, I don't regret I didn't got selected. I regret I didn't apply it because I didn't know about the opportunity, and that's the worst regret. The regret of I got rejected from this program is not that much. Okay, we got rejected, many others also must have got rejected. The regret is I didn't even know about this program, and the person I'm seeing on LinkedIn actually applied and got selected. That's the way worse regret that you could have. So I am pretty sure if no one else is gonna continue from our team, I am still gonna continue the opportunity identification, because again, I have built a whole database of what all opportunities international students who can't afford to pay more than $500 fees to any programs could apply to, and I'm gonna continue providing that for 2 years for sure. To answer your open position questions, I would say we have. If you can come offline, that it would be great. We are trying to get as many people to offline volunteer us. That would be best. We like to work offline. If not offline, then on the online side, we like to have more content creators at the moment. Content creators who can actually find more and more opportunities for our Discord community. Who can start, a little bit of marketing, because I still see like there are a lot of people who don't know about our Discord, and the reason. is somewhere the fault of ours only, because we didn't do a lot of marketing, we didn't we didn't do a lot of uh, reaching out to people, we didn't market it well enough. And one of the reasons of that would be the time constraints, because marketing takes a lot of time, and um, you know uh, that much time commitment I couldn't give at this moment. So I guess a lot of people don't know about our Discord server and the opportunity part. So I would say, if you are someone who wants to join, you can join us either as a content creator who could do research on those opportunities, or you could join as a marketing person who could just spread the word out there.
Right.
So
That's
yeah.
I like how it's just you're very honest with your answers, and it's just realistic
Sure.
for everyone to watch, everyone to hear and
Mhm.
watch. So we've almost come to the end of the meetings, and do you have any advice for the viewers, in terms of starting an organization or doing what they love, or doing something social services they like to do it, or do you have any advice for the viewers?
To be honest, the notion of putting others before you is a short term notion. Always put yourself and your interest before anyone else, because that's the only thing you could go in a long term. Short term things are good for learning. Starting an organization, it's good for learning. A social service organization, really good. You can learn a lot from it. I still remember that I learned to how to manage DNS servers, like how to manage DNS settings. I learned by building organizations, my organization website. The first responsive website that I built was of my organization only. So I learned a lot of things while executing the ideas. I learned how to manage a team, how whether like we had this thing. I, when I was discussing with one of my close team members, I asked her, what should we build? Should we build a utopian team where everyone is doing whatever they like, or should we build a disciplined team where everyone is doing whatever they are told so that it remains disciplined? So there are two ways to go about it. You can build either a utopian one where everyone is willing to do what, like everyone is free to do whatever they want. So she said, like, I was willing to go for the utopian one option because it feels much more realistic and modern. She said utopian one won't work because you need to have discipline. You need people even need to do the work they don't like. Otherwise it's going to mess up, because there will be work that no one likes, and it will start getting cluttered. That work start getting everyone is going to dictate their own terms and policies. So you get to learn a lot of perspectives. In this case, there's nothing right or wrong answer. You just learn how people think. So I guess you should always and always start an organization. And again, one more thing that brings me to this: many people I've heard says, okay, now everyone is a founder at LinkedIn. Everyone is mentioning as a founder. I said that's a good thing. Everyone is mentioning founder on their LinkedIn. They actually know what it means to be a founder. I know majority of them has failed their organization or somehow not failed. You know, at Launchex, I'm at Launchex, so people they had this very good terminology, failing forward. So I guess whoever has their founder tag on their LinkedIn and the organization, they couldn't execute it very well. You just failed forward. So it's really good. So you the hatred, or the people are saying like there are a lot of founders on their own LinkedIn. It's a good thing, because you are trying to start something up, and you start realizing how hard it is. So you start paying more respect to the other founders. Okay, there's this today Ashni Grover is a celebrity because people know how hard it is to build a startup. So people start paying respect to them. So I guess you should always and always try to start something up. Or if you can't start a whole organization, that's not necessary. Just take initiatives in your just join someone, take up initiatives. For example, in my the company that I'm working at, I usually bring them the ideas. Okay, we could execute this thing to make our reach more, and something similar to that. So you just need to bring ideas, and you need to learn how to execute them. That's the more important part than just starting an organization. And you know so yeah, I guess you should. And you shouldn't do it for social service. You should do it for your own learning, and you should try to embed social service. What UN says. UN, there are sustainable goals. So UN doesn't say, UN doesn't, nobody says you to just follow those sustainable goals. They say start a startup or start a company and try to follow these sustainable goals. First you need to start, and then you need to follow sustainable goals. So good works, your volunteering work could come the second. The first, your passion should be there. So yeah.
I really like that. So I think we have come to the end of this meeting, and I would like to thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you with us,
Sure.
Adarsh, and Teen Chapter wishes you greater success over the years to come. And thank you everyone for watching,
Definitely.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for having me. It was great talking to you. Bye.
Thank you.